I'm going to show you 3 ways to copy an image: the geometric, grid, and a negative space method. Here are some images of dogs which I've got from the internet. Before we begin, we need to understand and ask ourselves which one is the best for our shape borrowing activity. One way is to make silhouettes out of all of them. Can you see by now, one of them may be unrecognizable? One of them looks like a patch of don't know what. When you shape borrow for a product, it is not necessary to choose a profile that is the most realistic. In fact, the simpler, the better. Now, if you like the shape of the German Shepherd, the second one that you see on the top, when you do your shape borrowing, it is necessary for you to simplify it. A good profile to choose is one that even without details like eyes, whiskers, wrinkles, whatever, you will still be able to tell what the object is just by looking at the profile. I'm going to use the German Shepherd profile to show you how a geometric shape method can be used to copy shapes. First, you look at your reference. What little shapes can you find that mix up the complex organic shape? Square, rectangle, triangles, circles, ovals, etc., etc. When you try to identify shapes, you no longer think that you're going to copy a German Shepherd, copy a dog. No, don't think about that. Think shapes. This is a sausage. This is a circle. This is a triangle, etc. Pay attention to the size, proportions, and orientations of the shapes relative to each other. Once you've done that, next is to copy the shapes into a blank space. It is easy. Everybody can draw shapes. You can draw a square, triangle, rectangle. You can copy anything. Pay attention to proportions. You look at the body. I first drew it narrow and I realized that it could be broader. So if you do not get the proportions right, you will not be able to copy well, and the outcome will not be desirable. You can tell different types of dogs and their species just by looking at them. Some have big differences, some very small nuances. Well, if you look at the German Shepherd has big ears. If you draw them small and tiny, it will not look like one. If you look at a Kuji also have large ears. If you draw them tiny, it will not look like a Kuji. For example, if you look at a sausage dog, if you draw a sausage dog very squashy, short like a regular dog, it will not look like a sausage dog. So in this case, I drew the ear, the triangles too small. It didn't look like a German Shepherd. So just by changing the shape and size of the ears, now it looks more like a German Shepherd. Looks like we are done with the geometric shape method. Next, I'm going to show you how we can use the grid method to copy an image. We're going to use a Shiba, the Japanese hunting dog. First, we draw grids on the reference image, a 4x4 grid. When you draw a boundary box on the reference image, you must make sure that the 4 sides of the box must touch the image on the left, right, top and bottom. Drawing the grids is not difficult. All you need to do is to split the horizontal into 4 equal parts and the vertical into 4 equal parts. We begin by splitting the vertical in halves, then in quarters. You will apply the half and the quarter concepts to draw the vertical lines. To copy, you draw the same grid in a blank space, following the same 4x4 grid. If you want a larger copy, you draw a large grid. If you want a smaller copy, you draw a small grid. Pay attention to the proportions. Say for example, if you want to copy a giraffe, you will imagine yours will be a tall and a slim box, not like this. One more step before you copy, you got to plot the points on the image. Pay attention to those points where you have a turn. See the blue ones? Now you plot the same points on the grid that you have just drawn, exactly in the same places. Now there are two ways to do this. You can plot all the points first and then join the dots, or you can plot the points and draw along the way. It is really up to you. It doesn't matter. Let's finish the Shiba hunting dog. Let's do a quick recap. We've done the geometric shape method, the grid method, and now we have come to the negative space method. We're going to use the multis as an example. First, you need a box. The box that is similar to the grid method, but you don't need the grids, just the box. The negative space method requires you to think differently. If you look at the image, usually you will say, look, this is a dog, the profile of a dog. But when you use the negative space method, you look at the space outside of the image. Remember the geometric shape method? When you look at the negative space, you can use the geometric method to work out the negative space and you copy. Notice that the complicated organic shape of the dog is now being reduced to just 4 external shapes. Now, you cannot fail to have guidelines. Guidelines are the only way to help you plot accurately what you need to draw, what you need to copy, and where those lines should be. Some negative space shapes are easy. This is a simple rectangle. The one that we first did was more complex, so the geometric shape method will come in very handy. You can treat the negative space as a whole block and copy as it is, or you can split it up like what I'm doing here. Okay, Maltese, you're done. Three ways to copy an image, brought to you by Mr. Daniel SOS. Hey, if you like this video, subscribe, like and share, and tell me what you like to learn and watch in the comments below. Cheers!